My name is Emily. I work with Minnesota Valley Action Council. For anyone who's new on the call, we hold this quarterly networking meeting for anyone that wants to join. It traditionally started with Blue Earth and Nicollet, and I think it's opened up to be more our 9-county area. So welcome to anyone. You're free to forward the links to anyone else you feel would benefit, or have them contact me and I can get them added to our mailing list. So perfect. Andy is with Salvation Army today. He's going to talk with us about some of their programs and services. If anyone has questions, you're welcome to ask those, and then we'll move into roundtable.
Yeah, hey, you guys are awesome. I don't know you, but I recognize that you are incredible people that do great work. And I want to know more about that because the Salvation Army is only one group here in Mankato. We serve all of Blue Earth County and North Mankato. And the more I know about what you do in your agency, the more likely we will be able to help the people we serve at the highest level possible. So we know that we are not the best at everything we do. We want to be the best at everything we do, but we also know we're not naive enough to think we're the only ones who do it. So we know that it takes a village, as you know, the old saying would go. All right, so I'll just start out with our mission statement because it's one that I enjoy quite a bit. We have it on all of our bulletins for church and, plastered around our building for our programs and all that stuff. So the Salvation Army is motivated by God to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human needs in his name without discrimination. This is a promise that we live every single day for us. And it's just been a privilege for us. My wife and I, Captain Corey, we've been serving this community since shortly after the pandemic hit in 2020. It's been a move that changed our family's landscape wonderfully. So we love the community here. The Salvation Army here in Mankato, again, serving all of Blue Earth County and North Mankato. We have quite a few different programs that are going on. I think you might have a link that you could see those programs based off our website. But we do emergency social services. So that's like utility assistance or eviction assistance. When we have the funds available, that program also helps to provide some medical assistance for life-saving medicines. And then also auto assistance for people who are, getting to and from work, maybe, and that's their only vehicle to do that, or school. We are trying really hard to free up some money to help our friends who are experiencing homelessness. If they end up having to live out of their vehicle, we are trying to free up some money to help them with repairs to make sure those vehicles will be safe and sustainable for them. And then we offer a lunch program that's free to the community. It's usually 5 days a week. We don't typically serve on national or bank holidays, but that's open to the public 5 days a week. You don't have to be homeless. We just want you to be hungry, and you come by and we feed you. And that program's run by James. He's incredible. He's been running our kitchen for quite a few years now, and everywhere I go, people will stop me and say, "Hey, do you know that guy who runs the kitchen?" And I might know him. And they just have such great things to say about him. James has been just a centerpiece for us. And then we offer a day shelter for our friends who are experiencing homelessness. That's something that was a little bit newer. We came to the table with Connections Shelter in 2020 and talked about their plans for overnight shelter, which was at that time going to include men, women, and children. So we got out of the overnight shelter business because we were at that before then an overnight shelter for men that was just a seasonal shelter. And when we were able to work out a lot of great details with Connections, so then the Salvation Army, we just moved to a daytime shelter model. That meant that we could be able to house or help people who are men, women, or children, families during the day, which has been really helpful to us and to the folks we're serving, because we're open during regular business hours that a lot of other agencies are open. And so we have now a much greater, we got a much greater capacity to connect them with other agencies that can help them during the same time when we're we're open there. So our day shelter program, we have a laundry facilities, a shower facilities. We have a very limited storage capacity for our friends experiencing homelessness. One of the things I think our team is pretty excited about is we are a pet friendly shelter. When people get into that homeless thing, it's one of the last things they have is their pet. And that might mean like their family abandoned them for whatever reason, or maybe they just don't have anyone, but they've got a pet. We allow them to come in and with us as well, and we've been able to provide for them. We've got cages for each of the animals when they're there. We provide food and treats and leashes and sweaters and all that stuff for the animals that are coming into the shelter. I am grateful that we haven't had somebody with a pet snake because I'm not a snake guy. I don't hate them. I just they creep me out. So thankfully that hasn't been the case yet. But if it ever was, we would find a way to help those people. And then we run our thrift store is open 6 days a week right now. Any of the money that we raise there goes into supporting the community programs we provide. So, aside from what we have to, pay the staff and utilities, occupancy and stuff like that. So any additional revenue goes right back into those community programs, the lunch program, the emergency social services, the day shelter program. Uh, Annually, we host a back to school event where we give out brand new backpacks, but then there's other agencies that'll come and we provide lunch at that event, and then we get the shoe truck to come down from the cities so that these kids can get fairly new or slightly used, I should say, shoes for a very affordable price. And if their parents are there and they happen to see some shoes they want, they can buy them from the shoe truck themselves, also for I think like $7 for a fairly new piece of or a new set of kicks. So that's a fun event. And then in October every year we host a winter wear giveaway. It's called Bundle Me Warm, and that is something that our staff at the thrift store manages all year long. They're always collecting donations, and they store them in barrels, and then we put them in the basement at our building downtown, 700 South Riverfront Drive. And so during the MEA week in October every year, there's 2 days of that our team, the thrift store team, we operate our thrift store at half capacity because half of them come down to the Salvation Army downtown and they run this free winter wear giveaway. So they got it set up like a store. People can come in, they can pick out their coats, and if we have gloves and boots and snow pants in their sizes, they can do that too. And we just have been doing that since well before we came, and I think that's a really neat program. And the other thing, there are two other things the Salvation Army offers here. And we have a place that's called Maxfield Place. It's a permanent supportive housing program. So in Maxfield Place, it's 10 units. It's basically an apartment complex that has been reserved for people who were perennially homeless. Right now, that is a HUD-funded program. We will wait to see how that shakes out in the future. But we've had some tenants that have been with us since we opened, I think 13 years ago. And we have some tenants that are there and they start to feel like they can get their life back in order, and they're starting to get familiar with paying bills and financing and all of that stuff. And so then they end up just moving on. They move out, they find some other affordable housing that works for them, and that opens up a space for somebody else who was, again, perennially homeless. And then the other thing that my wife and I love is that we're a church. We get to be pastors. And one of the things I love about our congregation is it's not huge. So you're not going to get overlooked when you come in. But on top of that, we have business owners that are sitting at the same table with people who are just recently homeless or have been homeless for years now. And I don't know, I'm really impressed by that. My wife and I have pastored a couple of other places, and we've not ever seen anything like this. So love the church family here in Mankato, and the services are open for the whosoever. We've actually even had some bell ringers come into church lately, which is really great. So we're in the middle of our big fundraiser, the only fundraiser we do all year long, and that's our annual bell ringing campaign. I feel like I'm living out of my vehicle. I've got all of the stuff there with me. I know it's not true, and I shouldn't say that because we know people who have to live out of their vehicles, and that's a really hard thing. But yeah, I'm putting almost 100 miles a day on my van, just doing round trip stuff here in Mankato. So those are the things. I might have missed something. I might not have missed something. I don't know. It should be on that website there. What I love about the emergency social service program is when COVID hit, we needed to figure out how we were going to keep helping people, or maybe even improve on helping people. So we were able to partner with our regional headquarters that's located in the cities and to create an online intake form. So people can click a link that will give them a chance to fill out the online form, and they can upload any documents they might need for whatever it is, whatever service they're trying to get help with. And we went from being able to serve or to see roughly 20 families a day in person to being able to look over and process almost 100 applications a day through the online portal thing. So we love that. And for folks who don't have access to internet or are not tech savvy, they'll come in to the office. We've got a computer set up for them, and we can walk them through all of the steps. If they refuse the computer, we could just print out an application. They can fill it out like that. So it's been a lot of fun to see our team continue to grow and thrive. They just are doing amazing works and changing lives every single day. I knew that was going to happen. Sorry about that. That was
Oh,
exciting, wasn't it? Thanks
that's
for
okay.
thanks for coming on that ride with me. Um, I'm sure I missed some things, and I'd love to answer any kind of questions you guys might have now.
Yeah, I halfway through your conversation, I realized I could be sharing my screen. So I did pull it up as you were talking about Bundle Me Warm. I think the
That's
only
awesome.
thing that we maybe missed that's listed is holiday meal programs.
Oh
But
yeah.
other than that, I think you touched on all of them. And there is a chat question, but if you wanted to chat briefly about the holiday meals.
Yeah. So what we've done in the last couple of years is on the big, I guess you'd call them church holidays, on Easter and on or around Christmas, we've hosted a community meal for those holidays. A couple of years ago, we kind of got into this. We wanted just to provide food vouchers for folks who were struggling and wanted to make their holiday brighter, but we learned that there was a much wiser way to spend money. So we changed that into a community meal where people don't have to worry about cooking at all. They can just come and hang out with us. So this year, our Christmas meal is going to be hosted that Sunday before Christmas, so the 21st. It'll be right around noon, and we're going to have well, the food's going to be great. My wife's coordinating all of that stuff, so I don't have to worry about any of it. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. And we might even have some guest speakers come for that. Still trying to work out those details, but we'll have some live music and some great activities for the kids this coming not this Sunday, the 21st. But then earlier this year on Easter Sunday, we also hosted a community meal. I think we served just over 90 meals, and we had about 45 or 46 people stick around for church if they wanted to. So yeah, good. I'm glad you pointed that out. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And then I think you maybe touched on this, but there was a question about, could you please explain a little bit more about the intake and qualifying process for transportation or car repairs? That seems to be one of the biggest barriers for a lot of people lately. So you maybe
Yeah.
touched on an intake form online or just that they drop by, but is there anything else relevant to that question?
Well, we do have some guidelines that we have to follow, and I think some of those are income based guidelines. But then the other requirements for us is you have to have a valid driver's license. You have to have proof of insurance. If it's and especially if it's somebody who's just going to work for the first time or trying to get out of the house so they can work. Those are the ones that we would try to review. The thing that's really hard about that is we continue to have to decide between helping people with auto assistance like that or keeping people in their apartments, because funds, like everywhere else, funds are limited. So I do think that program might be on hold right now for us with the auto assistance thing. Again, we're trying to free up some money in the budget to help with the with our friends who are homeless, but I just don't remember. I'm pretty sure we are out of funds for the auto assistance stuff right now. But if and when we get those freed up again, it would just be pretty simple. Of you provide those things that we need and evidence of the job or the medical appointments or whatever it is, and we would help you when we have the funds available again.
Perfect.
Can I have a question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry, I just get in late because it's gave me a hard time too. But my name is Reverend Duas Liam. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm
I know
leading,
you.
yeah, I'm leading South Sudanese worship in Mankato, but I share the
Yeah,
I share the building with Baptist Church. Yeah,
sure.
my question or that I want to follow is about auto insurance because I just new to start a new church here and I have a lot of kids and we don't have a band that can take them like last 2 years and then they donate me a car that take only seven people
Yeah,
but right now that car is just too small because I hold like 20, 35 kids. And if I take them to the trip or take them to another road trip and then they cannot fit, I'm looking for maybe 12 passenger or yeah, or the band. How is that a way that you guys can help that those ministers thing?
yeah. I mean, at this point, we don't have any kind of a program that would allow for that. The way our insurance works for our vehicles, you have to be an approved driver. Before you could be an approved driver, you actually have to go through a background check and some training so that we can keep everybody, all of the occupants of that vehicle safe. So I would just have to say we can't do that right now. And I would encourage you to connect with. I mean, there's some other agencies that might have larger vehicles that would be helpful, and they might be able. I'm not going to speak for them, but I just know the Salvation Army is not able to do that at this time.
Okay, my question is there a way that you can connect me or give me some link that I can just get a hold of them?
Uh, to get a hold of who? I'm sorry.
Of the people that you say that maybe I can try them, maybe they can help.
Yeah. I mean, I think off the top of my head, I think at one point Vine had some vehicles. At one point, folks over at my place have larger vehicles. But again, I don't speak for them. So or MVAC, I think you guys might know something about some vehicles access too. But yeah, those would be the places I would start if I was in your situation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It's good to hear you, buddy.
Thank you too. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I can
My
try to
next
send
question
out.
go
Oh,
to ABC. Uh, yeah, that this is what I've been looking for 4 years now, and I've been struggling for the youth, for the kid to come to church or to take them to event. Only that car and then not take a lot of people. Even take them to the church too. It gave me like maybe I can go like 4 times to pick them up to take them to church. It's very hard, but if I can get like 12 passengers, will be helpful. If you guys can just help me for that, will be great too. But I
so
put it on
I
prayer. Yep.
Yeah, so I send out a recap of these networking meetings, and I can maybe make a note with your name or contact information that if anyone has programs like that or just kind of put that in there that you're wondering about connection. I don't know of any off the top of my head, but maybe with the network, we might be able to see what connections we can make. So we'll circle back to any other questions you have, but do we have any questions about Salvation Army, just to kind of wrap up Andy's presentation about what offerings Salvation Army has? Anyone else? You were very thorough in your presentation, and your website does a good job explaining it too. So,
well, those are words I didn't expect to hear today, if I'm being completely honest with you. We seem like we tried desperately to resolve some of our website issues, but then the fact that you said I'm very thorough, I've been called much worse. So I receive that. Thank you.
no worries. Does anyone have final thoughts or questions for Andy regarding Salvation Army? Or does it? If not, we can kind of move into roundtable. And Andy, you're welcome to stay on the call and listen to other agencies if they have any updates or questions or whatnot. But if you have to take off, we understand that as well, and we appreciate your time. So.
Yeah, well, I'll stick around. I'm going to mute my camera and my my mic because I got a little bit of driving to do, but I'd love to hear some more of the conversation.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
I may leave right now. I have to take my wife to work, and then nice to meet you guys, and we will keep in touch.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
thank you so much, and Merry Christmas ahead.
Perfect. So at this point in the meeting, we typically move into roundtable where agencies can talk about events coming up or updates at their agency. If they're new to the call, welcome. I forgot to preface that on this call, it's more than just MVAC. So it's just a space for other agencies to come together so that we can share resources. And the goal is to kind of connect resources for the employment and training related programs that we do and what resources there are to support those programs. So anybody want to get us started? If not, I can go. Hey, Ju.
I was gonna say I was gonna go, but then you said you were gonna go.
No,
but
you're
if you
good.
want me to go, I can
go
start
for it. I got excited when I saw your face. I was like, go for it. So what do you have for us this
I'm glad
this
somebody
quarter?
gets excited to see my face. Hi, I'm Paige with Vine. I also represent True Transit. I know he jumped off the call, but I think he was mentioning the Vine transportation program. So I'll just start with that. So Vine actually has two different transportation programs. One is True Transit, which is the public transportation program for Blue Earth, Nicollet, and Le Sueur counties. We operate Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Completely dial-a-ride service for those three counties. Right now, our rides are just $5 each way. I will make note that there is discussions right now that we'll be having with our TAC advisory committee in January to potentially be raising those prices, since funding coming from the state and federal level is going to be, affected a little bit in the next year or two. So just kind of preparing for that. The other transportation program that we operate is called door-to-door transportation, and that is using volunteer drivers, and the volunteer drivers use their own personal vehicles. We do ask for donations to help cover the cost of those rides, but we do not require that. So people sometimes do get rides that don't pay the donation. That is for people who are 60 and older only. So there is a short intake process that people have to go through in order to qualify for that program. But the True Transit one is public transportation. So anybody, any age can use that transportation program. Anybody who's been around our building lately has known we've been under construction since May. Our construction is winding up here at the end of the year, and we hope to have a grand reopening event probably in late January. So stay tuned for that. Also wanted to mention we're looking for more volunteers right now to help with our chores program. We do a lot of shoveling in the winter months, and so far it's been a kind of brutal winter. And we're just at the beginning. So if you know of anybody who's looking to help us with shoveling and get some exercise in this winter, please send them our way. We also have, for those who enjoy the outdoors, we have a snowshoe rental program. So if anybody wants to rent snowshoes from us, it's just $25 for the season, and we provide you with snowshoes and trekking poles. So if you're interested in that, you can check out our website, vinevolunteers.org, or you can just stop by the Vine Adult Community Center to pick up a pair. We have a couple of free programs that are free and open to the public that I wanted to mention. One is we partner with Mayo Clinic, and they do what they refer to as Walk with a Doc. It's held on the second Tuesday of every month from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. on our indoor walking track. So people who are interested in coming and getting some exercise and having the opportunity to chat with a Mayo Clinic doctor about maybe any health issues they're having, it's a good opportunity to let people know about. We also have a free diabetes prevention program coming up. That is a year-long program that starts on January 26th. They start by meeting weekly, and then it goes to monthly, and then it goes to every other month. And that's from 3 to 4 p.m. also at Vine. So everything I just mentioned, you can find more information at vinevolunteers.org. For the True Transit information, though, it's truetransit.org. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I do have a question about the True Transit rides.
Yep.
So I spoke with somebody about a month ago for somebody that's living at Cada Shelter needing a ride. And they mentioned that because of where she was on a bus route that she wasn't qualified. Is that the case?
So True Transit is the countywide public transportation program. If they're going from Mankato to Mankato, then they're supposed to use the city transit, which is Mankato Public Transit. So we can't do Mankato to Mankato rides or Mankato to North Mankato because that's all under the city of Mankato jurisdiction. If they were slightly outside of town, like we do pick up people with a Mankato address, but they're out in the country, we can pick those people up and bring them into town, but we can't do people who live in the city limits unless they're going outside of Mankato. So if they're going to like St. Peter or something, we can provide transportation to them, but we just can't do a Mankato to Mankato address unless it's out in the country. I hope that helped.
I can go next. I'm Kate Henge-Gretz. I work with Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota. We have a lot of programs at LSS. Our financial counseling is one of our better known programs. There's no cost for those services unless you want to do a debt consolidation plan. But if you want to figure out your budget, understand your credit reports, you're thinking about buying a house, want to know what your options are, need help figuring out student loan debt, those are all services available free of charge. Most of those services are done over the phone, but if someone wants a face-to-face appointment, we do have a staff person that comes into our office when she's got face-to-face appointments. The Youth Resource Center, formerly known as the REACH, provides services to homeless and at-risk youth and also exploited youth, whether it's sexual exploitation or employment exploitation. Most of those services are for youth age 24 and younger. There is some case management. There's also the drop-in center where people can come have a hot meal 4 days a week and do laundry, maybe shower, just hang out with other young people, talk to adults that are supportive, that type of thing. We have adoption and foster care. We have a kinship program that's the staff work out of the cities, but they provide services via technology. So if you know anyone who's raising someone else's children and maybe they want to know how to get them into school, how to sign them up for food support, what kind of resources are available for grandparents or whatever, for toys, all those kinds of things would probably be our kinship program. We do mental health, guardianship, conservatorship. I coordinate the crisis nursery, which is short-term emergency childcare when families are experiencing stress. And we can place children ages 12 and younger with licensed providers. So family childcare center programs and also foster care programs. Care can be anywhere from a couple of hours up to 72 consecutive hours. There's no cost, no income guidelines, no citizenship requirements. We can do the paperwork over the phone. And as long as it ensures child safety or promotes child and family well-being, I will try to find a provider for the family. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Also, part of the crisis nursery is just connecting families to resources. So if you know of someone who maybe needs to talk to someone about how do I sign up for childcare assistance? Or, they just want some information on housing programs or food resources. It's certainly fine to refer people to me if they just want to have a resource discussion. So anyway, I think that's most of what LSS is about. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other agency have events coming up or changes in your services that you'd like to chat about?
Hi, I'm Stacy from Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services. I'm the outreach coordinator. I've been with Smurls for about a year now, and we don't really have anything events that I wanted to talk about specifically, but just to let you all know that we're still here. We have a new executive director. Her name is Michaela Schuneman, and I think she started back in October. She also goes by Mickey. If you're interested in receiving our newsletter, we issue a monthly newsletter. I'll put my email in the chat, and you can just email me and I'll get you on the newsletter list. And just letting everyone know that we're here. We provide free civil legal assistance to income eligible folks and folks over 60. So that we deal with everything from housing. We have a housing unit, a family law unit, and probably our the unit that I work specifically out of is our economic justice unit for people who may have had their benefits terminated. Anything we're dealing with, or a majority of topics dealing with benefits and economic justice. So I'll drop my email in the chat. We also have some new brochures. So if anybody is looking for Smurls brochures, let me know. I have English and Spanish both, and I'd be happy to stop down and drop some off for you.
Do you have any digital versions of them that you'd like to share? I can send it out with the group.
Absolutely. I'll send them to you, Emily.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Natalia, did you want to go next?
Yes, thank you, Emily. Yes, my name is Natalia Orosio. I am a health promoter and program specialist for Copal. I wanted to share that we are still in the shared spaces building, but we did switch locations. We are in the office where, if you're familiar with YWCA, where YWCA used to be. It's I believe, the second biggest office space, and we have computers set up there. I believe we have 8. I think we're trying to get 10, but we have 8 computers set up there that community members can come in and use. And we are also going to be facilitating for people to get their ServSafe certificates. That is in food handling. It could be for a business, for an employer too, or an employee. And it is also in Spanish. There is no requirement for the English proficiency. You can get this in English and in Spanish. So if you know a community member that would like to receive that certification, definitely feel free to send them to Copal or refer to Copal. I could also put my contact information. You could also directly contact me. And I also want to share that we changed our navigators line. It used to be the 320 I had it memorized, but yeah, we changed our navigators line, which I can also share in the chat too. And in this number, before people couldn't send a text message, but now people can leave a text message to the number if they prefer that too. And right now, those are the updates that I had to share. Thank you.
Perfect. And I did pull up your website while you were chatting, and it says the new Copal Navigator number is 612-255-3112. And I'll put that in the recap as well.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Any other agency have updates or would like to chat?
Can I just get some clarifications from Natalia about what Copal does? I'm not as familiar with that agency.
Yeah, they were a guest speaker of ours too. So if you haven't seen that, we do have a recording of their services. But yes, you can certainly, Natalia, if you want to chat more. Otherwise, Erin, I can send that link to you as well.
Yes, thank you, Emily. Yes, if you could send that link too, that would be great. But yes, I am a health promoter and program specialist for Copal. So what Copal stands for is Communities Organizing the Latino Power and Action. Copal is becoming you would say kind of like a hub for people who are immigrating to the US. They might need services that are Spanish speaking services, but there's still some opportunities that they are able to have access to. And we just kind of have like, we're like a bridge for that. For example, we have like contacts, it could be legal services or community clinics. We help refer people who are in Spanish, or we let them know what kind of what to expect, what kind of information will be asked for them to, and how they can enroll in services. My main focus has been on on health insurance, and sharing information about long COVID, because it's still affecting people and many people in our community aren't aware of it. So yeah, so that's what Copal has been doing, and Copal is also a hub for also letting people know their rights, not just rights as citizens, but also rights as workers, rights as a pregnant person who is also in the workspace. So yeah, Copal does a lot, but the overall mission for Copal is for every Latin family and every family in Minnesota to have a better quality of life. Thank you. And let me know if you have any other questions. I'd be happy to answer them.
Perfect, thanks. Any other agency updates? Otherwise, I do have some for MVAC if everyone has had a chance to talk on theirs.
I'll go next. My name is Erin Lehman. I work with Head Start within MVAC. Not a whole lot new. However, we still have, we're always taking applications for children who are birth to age 5. Birth to age 3, we have a program of home visitors that will visit with families once a week for about an hour and a half, do parent-led activities and developmentally appropriate educational opportunities, as well as providing resources for families. And then we also have from 3 to age 5 preschool setting. We have here locally in Mankato, one classroom that has not opened yet. We're waiting for a qualified teacher to apply. So if you know of anyone who has a teaching degree or is looking, we are desperately wanting that classroom to open to serve those families. So that's my spiel.
Thanks. Perfect. Anybody else from another agency? I can share some updates on MVAC then. It's my understanding that our Energy Assistance Program weatherization does have their funding. So if you have participants that applied, encourage them to be checking their phone or their email if they had anything missing from their application, or to call our main line if they had questions. We also, with our adult training programs, we are accepting applications. Some of our grants are going to be ending in December, but we've got some new ones coming up. So at this time, if anyone is wanting to explore careers or longer term, up to 2 years of training, you can definitely connect them with me and I can try to get them situated with the right person. We also have our youth program. I think Kim's on the call if she has more to say on it, but I believe we are still accepting applications for 16 to 24 years of age for things like resume help and job search assistance. And then we also have a grant that's specific for youth with disabilities. So I believe we're still, we have openings in that grant as well. More to come, we have an ag grant. It's a training that will kind of mirror the dislocated worker program, but we don't know a lot of information on it just yet. So once I know more, I can share that. And then we do currently still have funding for our low income worker grant, or MJSP. Basically, they have to be under 200% of poverty, and it's kind of focused towards the short term healthcare or manufacturing field. So if you have anyone that is interested, again, they can reach out to me or anyone at MVAC, and we'll get them connected to the right person to see if they may qualify. Before I move on to a different program, Kim, did I miss anything with youth or senior, or did I touch on everything? I'm not sure.
I think you got everything pretty well. The senior program, we have started our wait list again, but you never know when a spot will open up. So I always encourage people to ask anyway. Same with our youth program. We're still enrolling for our youth program in most counties. We have our referral link online. If you are referring a client of yours, someone you're working with, I would highly suggest sending a release of information along with their application. If you have access to an application, you can email it to us. I believe there's an email on the website that you can email applications to. I'll also drop my email in the chat. I can send applications to the appropriate caseworker, and then the youth will be contacted shortly after.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I also had a couple updates. It looks like since we had someone on the call asking about vehicles, I believe all of our vehicles were spoken for with We'll Get There at this time. I see some nods, so I believe that is correct. So I can send out that link just in case somebody's interested if a new vehicle would come up, but I don't believe I don't believe we get larger vehicles like that donated, but I'll throw it in the recap as well. And then our FAME program, our family, oh my gosh, Assets for Independence in Minnesota, I think is what it stands for. That one did get renewed for funding. So I believe that one is also income eligible for individuals that have a savings goal. It's a match savings program with a goal of working towards opening a business, buying a first home, going to school, buying a vehicle, or saving for a child's future. So if anyone has clients that are employed, lower income, and still able to maybe work with somebody on savings goals, they could potentially reach out to us to see if they might fit the FAME program. So I just thought I'd mention that one. We also have a job opening in our Waseca County office. It may help with the sewer in the future, but that's open until Friday. It's a family resource specialist position, so it would be working with our young adult career development programs and our adult training programs as a case manager. So if you know anyone who might be a good fit, they have a couple days yet to apply to that, and they'd work in our community service department. Let's see. Our next networking meeting for this call, it's quarterly every third month on the second Wednesday. So the next one will be Wednesday, March 11th at 1 p.m. And I have not sent out calendar invites or links. I apologize that we had some technical difficulties with this calendar invite this time. I think it had something to do with Outlook and Teams kind of fighting each other. So I will try to avoid that issue going forward and get a new link sent out so that there's at least a placeholder again for, yep, Kate, did you have a?
Yeah, is that when MSSA is? I think MSSA in 2026 is early.
Okay.
Yes, I was just gonna say that in the chat. Yep, that's correct.
Good to know. Okay. Yep. I will take a look. Yep, you're right. It is March 11th to 13th. Thank you for that catch. Okay, I will take a look. I guess, does anyone on this call have a preference if we would meet like the week prior to that or the week after that instead? Otherwise, I can just...
No preference.
Perfect. Okay, I will take a look at my calendar and pick a new day, and hopefully that works for the majority. Thank you for great reminder, Kate. I didn't even catch that, so thank you for that. And then the only other update I think that I missed is that adult basic education and their adult career pathways, they're having their next networking day. It is something that they used to hold once a year just to kind of do. They joked about it being speed dating to learn about agencies, basically, like very quick. Hey, this is my agency and this is what you can access and here's who you talk to. And then in the afternoon, they are going to do a poverty simulation. So if you haven't participated in one of those, I will send out a link or the link for presenters. I think that the link to sign up won't be available until sometime in January, but there is a save the date flyer. It will be Friday, February 27th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so if you want to present on your agency, there's a link to sign up to do that, as well as to just table about your agency on that networking day. So I will share that with my recap. It might take me a bit. We've got a lot of good resources today, so I'll type it all up, attach the recording, and send that out to everyone after the call today.
Emily, can I put a quick
go ahead.
plug
Sure.
in quick?
Go for it.
I just heard you say poverty simulation, and I just wanted to jump off of that. MVAC has trained facilitators to host poverty simulations. So if any of your businesses in the agency want to do a group training, a staff training, or any ideas like that, we're happy to come to you and facilitate the poverty simulation training. It's a very cost-effective training. It's mostly free, besides like you have to pay like rent for whatever space you're using and some mileage reimbursements, but overall it's very affordable. The only thing is you do need the least amount of people is 40. So we need anywhere between 40 and 80 people to participate. But I am happy to be the contact person. So if you are interested in learning a little more about it or thinking about setting that up, we do have the kit at MVAC and have trained facilitators, and we're happy to be out and about anywhere, in southern Minnesota. So yeah, let me know. I'll put my information in the chat.
Perfect. Thanks. That's a good reminder. And I think you also don't you need 20 or 30 volunteers on top of that as well?
20. Yep.
20.
Anywhere
Okay.
between 18 and 20 we can get by with volunteers. So yeah, but it's it's a great experience. We just actually did one in Brown County earlier this week, and we did one in Lee Sueur County a few weeks ago, and they've been great turnouts, and we've had some really good feedback. So if you haven't done one, definitely something to look into.
Perfect. Thanks. Did everyone get a chance to talk about any agency updates or events or anything else that they'd like to share? Yes, the only other thing of note is the Community Service Department has a new director. His name is Nick. So if you knew Margie, she had retired. So if anyone has ever connected with our Community Service Department, the new contact would be Nick going forward. Yeah, any other thoughts, questions? Oh, there you are, Nick. If you want to wave, perfect. It's been great. Lots to learn. So yeah. Perfect. Any final thoughts, questions, comments? Otherwise, I made a note about MSSA. I will try to get a update on that date correction for March, and then I'll type up the recap as soon as I can. I'll try to compile all those flyers. If you guys have anything you'd want to send to me, I can share that with the group. Yeah, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. And I hope you stay safe if you have to travel anywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good year.
Thanks. I guess, yeah, you as well. See you next year. So thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.